me get to our buddy Darren Rovell. He is a business reporter for the Action Network, and we figured we'd talk to him about what that ball was worth last night. The 60th home run ball that the fan gave back to Aaron Judge. Street value, what would that be on the open market today?
At least 100,000, Dan. So let's go over this trade again.
All right.
The guy got a ball signed by Aaron Judge, a ball signed by Aaron Judge for each of his three friends, and a bat signed by Aaron Judge. So he essentially gave $1,500 in value for 100,000 easy.
Okay.
Now, there is an argument to be made. He got to meet him in the clubhouse and take a picture. The picture has more value in the social media era than ever before, right? Picture with Aaron Judge. Look at this picture with Aaron Judge after he hit 60. But obviously not a fair trade. And I would suggest it also looks bad on the Yankees. So if the Yankees want home run ball 61 and 62, they better start figuring out a better deal because they're not going to get it.
Would it be prudent to sell the ball right away, or do you wait? Let's say you got 62. Do you sell it the next day, or do you wait a little while?
No, the way the auctions work, you're probably just going to have to wait a month. You need it to be marketed. Okay. But it's interesting. I mean, listen, we're at a time right now where game use stuff is going crazy. That Michael Jordan jersey from game 1 of the 98 finals sold for $10 million. Maradona's Hand of God jersey sold for $9 million. It's at a perfect time right now as far as game use memorabilia goes. But, we'll have to see, right? So 61, probably a $500,000 ball, 62, the AL record, the Yankee record, maybe $1 million ball, and then 74 if he could ever get there. That's a big one. But Todd McFarlane is still sitting on all his McGuire and Sosa balls and bought the bonds. He bought Bond 73 too.
But what are those worth now? What were they worth then, and what are they worth now?
Well, he spent $3.3 million to get McGuire 61, 62, and 69 and 70, Sosa 61, 62, and then he paid $500,000 for Bonds 73. So let's say $3.8 million he spent. I bet he could get 1.5 for those now. A depreciating asset.
Yeah. I wondered about memorabilia because on one hand, as you talked about, you got some of these items that are going for crazy amounts of money. And then you have other items that did go for crazy amounts of money that aren't worth it. What's the Aaron Judge bat worth? See, that's what I would want. I'll give you the ball back. I want the bat that you hit the home run with.
Well, the bat is the item you go after, right? Because the jersey, he probably had 6 jerseys on last night. So if you ask for the jersey, it's like, well, what inning jersey you're going to give me?
Did everybody learn from Pete Rose? Is that why you changed your jerseys out when Pete was getting all-time record?
Pete Rose did it, and then I think that just became a thing. Brady even did it, right, with some Super Bowls. It's a little harder as an NFL player, but yeah, the jersey swap in each inning. Cal Ripken did it for him breaking. Every inning he put on a new jersey for him breaking Gehrig. So yeah, that's the thing. So the bat is definitely the thing you go after. Whether Judge will give you, I mean, I don't think he'd give you the bat. The bat, if it's not cracked, is kind of sacred, even though he has a whole brand of bats down the line. I think the Yankees should do something with their sponsors, like basically say, hey, sponsors, why don't we try to get a fair deal for one of these fans? Because this morning it's all about like, oh, this guy got taken, he got scammed. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, he's a horrible negotiator, but the Yankees really didn't do themselves any favors either.
Got anything else that's auctioned or this day in history?
We got 3. So I have a ticket collection, and I organize it by date. So we have 3 anniversaries today. We have the Rocky Marciano, his last fight
at Yankee Stadium,
49-0. It says September 20th. It was postponed a day. So and then he of course retired. A half a year later at 32.
Yeah, beat Archie Moore.
Yeah, and then we have, let's put it this way, we have Harry Carey and Ryan Sandberg's last game at Wrigley 25 years ago today. So we got that one. And then this is my most impressive one. It is a press pass to the first Monday Night Football game today, September 21st, 1970. It is Howard Cosell from Cleveland Stadium with my fellow broadcasters, Don Meredith and Keith Jackson.
I have all these press passes in here.
Get them slabbed. I'll help. Let's get them slabbed for you.
But they're all over the doors. Like I've got from Jordan's.
You got to get those. I'll help you, but you got to put those things, get them in these nice slabs, and other than hanging, some of them are worth a lot of money.
Could you give me the street value if you came here to the man cave and you just walked around and saw what I had in here?
That would be a great segment. That would be a great, and we'll make it like each time I say something, we go ding, 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 and then at the end we just add it all up.
I was thinking of getting American Pickers to come in here and do a show.
Great idea, but I'm a better estimator than they are.
The Brady ball, what we thought was the last touchdown pass, did that just sell again?
That just sold for like $129,000, which, by the way, I was shocked at. So originally the guy bought it for $518,000. 24 hours later, Brady's like, "Oh, I'm unretiring." The guy's like, "I'm not paying for that." They let it go and then they resell it. I'm like, it's going to sell for like $25,000. Sold for $129,000. It still got 25% of the value, which, like, okay, now it's just like a random like touchdown and a loss. That is just an example of how crazy game used memorabilia is going. You can't get anything for any value these days.
What do you think Jordan's jersey for Game 6 when he hit the jumper against Utah?
I think that's probably right now in current market, probably a $20 million piece.
Do you know somebody has Michael's shoes
from that game?
Well, I was privy to see some things happen after Michael won championships. He always came into Sports Center when I was on site, and he never had his shoes on.
Here.
He never had his shoes on.
Right. They were always off his shoes by the time you were doing the interview. That is a fascinating nugget. That's pretty amazing.
Somebody, I witnessed Michael signing his shoes.
Someone.
I don't know if he said two. I'm just saying I think that there's some exploratory work. Could you imagine?
I'm gonna have to do that work. Now the flu game shoes were sold like 5 years ago for $104,000. That guy he was the Utah Jazz ball boy.
Yeah,
man, that's
a bargain.
Complete bargain. That's at least a couple $1 million.
Yes.
Now the problem with the Jordan shoes is they really do start to disintegrate. The foam is not the greatest. So especially like Jordan 1 through 5 or 6, not good. So you have to take that into account because it's like, you buy it and then you go see it, 2 years later in your safety deposit box and you're like, where's the shoe? It's gone.
Yeah, but you can hermetically seal those things.
Man, I don't know if there's a shoe aging agent that you could put on it. I'm not sure. Someone better invent it though. I was a bidder on the Steve Prefontaine Oregon waffle shoes at Sotheby's. My only problem was Prefontaine did not use the shoes in a race, right? He used spikes. He was running fast races around a track. And so the shoes were an amazing Oregon waffle, but he never wore them, or he never wore them while he was running a race. So I went to Nike and I'm like, do you have anything in the archives that shows Steve Prefontaine wearing these shoes? Like in a practice, anything, nothing. And if I didn't have that picture, I was like, oh, I can't bid on them then. So you really got to do a lot of work as things get higher and higher on some of these deals.
What do you think my Ryan Leaf Colts jersey is worth? That it was given to him.
Oh, it was given. It was made.
Yes.
Just in case he was picked instead of Peyton.
Yes.
I think that's an incredible conversation piece. as well, people probably won't remember this, but I will, and you will. Ryan Leaf was the number one. I mean, I remember Bob Glauber did a piece on from all these general managers, and like Leaf was the unanimous decision here at the time.
Yeah.
So people would be like, well, who would have that? And it's like, well, Polian made the right decision, but like Leaf was definitely one over Peyton at the time. That was the thinking. So I love that jersey. That is awesome.
Good to talk to you as always, Darren.
You got it.
Stay
Take
in
care,
touch.
Dan.
That's Darren Rovell, Action Network business reporter.